Williams and Robertson progress at Welsh Open. Two-time champions Mark Williams and Neil Robertson cruised into the last 16 of the Welsh Open in impressive fashion. Williams hit 3 half-century breaks in a 4-1 win against Martin O'Donnell in the second-round contest, while Australian Robertson beat Hossein Vafiei by the same margin. A long pot on a red in the 5th and final frame was among Welshman Williams' highlights in Llandudno. "I thought I played all right. Conditions were tough, it was flying off the cushions," the 50-year-old told BBC Sport. O'Donnell missed a few there, he let me off the hook a few times. But overall I thought I played all right. I had a good break in the last frame. Williams, who won the event in 1996 and 1999, will face 2018 runner-up Barry Hawkins in the third round after the Englishman produced breaks of 69, 72, and 52 in a 4-2 triumph over Pang Jungsu. Robertson, Welsh Open champion in 2007 and 2019, came from a frame behind to beat Vafiei. The Iranian came out on top in an opening frame that lasted 51 minutes, although former world champion Robertson won 4 consecutive frames, the second of which was on the black, to claim victory. Having survived those early scares, Robertson showed his class in the final 2 frames with breaks of 100 and 118 to set up a third-round meeting with Jack Jones. The Welshman hit a trio of 50-plus breaks to move into round 3 with a 4-2 win over Scotland's Anthony McGill. A stunning 101 break in the penultimate frame proved pivotal as Welshman Jackson Page came from behind to beat Chong Bingyu 4-3. Bingyu posted breaks of 65 and 74 en route to going 3-2 up, although Page's century break was followed by a 70-22 win in the final frame. Robbie Williams came from 2-0 down to beat 2013 winner Stephen Maguire 4-3 in the second round, with a 69 break in the 4th frame the highlight for the Englishman. Jack Lisowski won 3 successive frames to come from 3-1 down to beat Xiao Guodong on the North Wales coast. China's Guodong looked on course for victory after following up a pair of half-century breaks with a 113 in the 4th frame. But Lisowski produced an impressive fight back to win each of the final 3 frames, producing an 83 break to force a last frame decider, which he then went on to win 56-39. David Grace claimed a straightforward 4-1 victory over Welshman Dylan Emery, while Wu Yize defeated Joe O'Connor 4-2 in a match that featured 4 half-century breaks. Elsewhere, Zhang Jun outscored fellow Chinese player Yuan Sijuan to secure an emphatic 4-0 victory. The artistry of experience, Williams and Robertson at the Welsh Open. In the Hush Theatre of Venue Cymru in Llandudno, where the cushions gleam and the spectators' breaths hang in the air, 2 figures stand as living embodiments of snooker's rich tapestry, Mark Williams and Neil Robertson. Both men, seasoned champions with multiple Welsh Open titles, moved into the last 16 of the 2026 tournament with victories that were as much about craft as about competitive resilience. Williams, the jester's grace. At 50 years old, Williams might be considered a link to snooker's storied past, but on the green baize he is no nostalgic relic. He is a craftsman still writing chapters in his own legacy. His second-round match against Martin O'Donnell was a showcase of controlled flair. With breaks of 60, 58, and 57, Williams navigated the encounter with a quiet authority that revealed both patient judgment and appetite for risk. A long pot on a red in the deciding 5th frame was not just a tactical stroke, it was a moment that encapsulated his career, audacious when necessary, refined when possible. Williams spoke afterward of the table conditions, flying off the cushions, and the subtle adjustments required to overcome them. His remarks were neither excuses nor self-congratulations, but rather an admission that snooker, at the highest level, is as much about adapting to the environment as it is about crushing balls into pockets. This veteran perspective, marrying humility with perseverance, enriches the sport and draws a bridge between generations of fans and players. In the next round, Williams would face Barry Hawkins, another seasoned competitor. Fans of the Welshman, draped in the tournament's traditional green and gold, see in him a living reminder that experience, with its intuition, its rhythm, and its whispered confidence, remains one of the most beautiful parts of professional snooker. Robertson, precision and persistence. If Williams brings poetry to the table, Robertson brings technical mastery with a predatory edge. The Australian's rout through the second round against Hossein Vafiei showcased his capacity to transform adversity into momentum, particularly after surrendering the opening frame in a marathon 51-minute battle. What followed was a textbook demonstration of late 20th century potting precision fused with 21st century break-building intelligence for consecutive frames, including 2-century breaks, 100 and 118, that turned the match into a statement. Where Williams spoke of the table's temperament, Robertson responded with crushing clarity and purpose, even when glass-like pressure mounted. This performance wasn't just about shot-making. It was about tempo and psychological control. After an early setback, Robertson reset his focus, read the angles with a surgeon's certainty, and unleashed breaks that drew applause with both their craftsmanship and calculated risk. Next up for him was Jack Jones, a rising Welsh contender. The contrast in their approaches, Williams's artful adaptation, Robertson's precision-driven assertiveness, mirrors the larger conversation in snooker today: veteran genius versus emergent ambition. A broader canvas, legends in a modern game. What makes the journeys of Williams and Robertson at this Welsh Open especially compelling is the context of modern snooker. The sport is increasingly competitive at all levels. Younger players are fearless, crowd favorites have shifted, and every draw can deliver shocks, as evidenced by other high-profile exits this week. Yet here are two players whose careers stretch back decades, still unafraid to engage, still unwilling to let youth have the stage without contest. It's not merely longevity, it's relevance, a rare quality in any athletic discipline. Their progress is also a reminder of the sport's narrative flexibility. Williams, with his relaxed persona, brings warmth and comedy to his battles. Robertson, with his clinical precision, embodies ruthless efficiency. Both, however, converge on the same truth: snooker's greatest rewards go not just to the most talented, but to the most resilient. The human element, beyond the scoreline. Beyond brackets and frames won or lost, there's a human story unfolding, of devotion when many players might have chosen retirement or simpler paths. In Williams's reflective commentary about adjusting to table conditions, you sense a perpetual learner, still fascinated by the game's subtleties. In Robertson's composed recovery against a combative opponent, you see a founder's relentless pursuit of excellence. Their wins aren't just